All right, good morning, everyone. I believe you all can hear me. Just to confirm that you can all hear me, just click the raise hand button. Let me be sure that, okay, good, nice. Everyone can hear me. Okay, good, good. Thank you for showing up. Okay, I'm aware that we have different levels here. So if you're in 300, can you just click the raise hand button, 300 level? Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. If you're in 400 level, can you click the raise hand button? 400 level. Quite interesting. Wow. Good to have all of you. Okay. If you are in 500 level, click the raise hand button. Just 500 level. Quite interesting. Okay. So thank you all for coming around for this particular session, and I hope we're going to make the most of it. It's supposed to be just 1 hour, so I hope we can get the best out of 1 hour. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for the honor we have to be in this class. I pray that it enriches all of us and we are all able to advance a lot more with our lives by the things you'll be sharing with us in this class. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so thank you again for showing up. And I hope we can learn a number of things from this class right here. And I believe that you guys will have a couple of things you can pick to apply to your lives and to the things you're working on. You already know what CDS stands for at Covenant University. So that's the arm at Covenant University that is extremely interested in ensuring that we cultivate high-growth entrepreneurs. Because like you all know what the mission of the university is. And I hope you guys enjoyed the just checking on new video. A number of you saw it, saw your comments. Thank you very much. That's just us saying we miss you guys, and I hope that you're making the most of the time that you have right at home. So I'll just go straight to what we're attending to today. I'll start with a few announcements, which are very, very crucial. Like you can see from the poster on the screen, we are looking at venture creation today. But let's look at some announcements. I've been sharing a number of contents, particularly around entrepreneurship. So you will do yourself well to follow me on YouTube, particularly because that is where I put content of my sessions with some leading entrepreneurs in Nigeria, which I started from last month. So throughout this lockdown period, I've been trying to curate some content around entrepreneurship that can be of help to a lot of people. So from the likes of Israel Obiri, to Shoya Balaji, to the founder of Softcom, that's Yomi Adedeji, and a number of them. I'll be doing another one also this week. I hope I can also share a bit of that with you guys. So you can do that. Now, some information. This class is by Center for Entrepreneurial Development Studies, and it's not a substitute for your task on Moodle. But like you already know that entrepreneurship is not an academic platform. It's not an academic discipline. Covenant University brought it in order to achieve the core mission, because the mission of Covenant University is to raise a new generation of leaders. And so the university, through the center, is extremely passionate about seeing to it that you guys realize your dreams as entrepreneurs, for those who want to be. And for those who will not be entrepreneurs or who don't want to be entrepreneurs, you can as well embrace the principles around entrepreneurship and apply that to your dream to become a top professional person or a career person. Okay, so this is not a substitute for what you should be, your engagements on Zoom. Those ones are also necessary. So please pay attention to what you're doing on Zoom. Very, very, very crucial. Like you know, the Zoom platform that we're using has a limitation, but the feature, because it's an upgraded version, has the ability to work with YouTube. So there's a YouTube link also for those who are trying to enter who can't get in here. They automatically get the Zoom link. I've also put on the chat section the YouTube link, so you can share with your colleagues who are also trying to get in, who may not see the YouTube link there properly. So you can just follow through with that. Now, also some information. We did this for 120 level students last week, and also I think was it Monday or so, and we noticed they were posting their matric numbers and all that. No, I mean, we're in the tech age. We shouldn't be posting matric numbers as a means for our tenants and all that, and also for security reasons. So I don't think you should be sharing your matric numbers like that. By using of technology, you can check this class right now. You can always check it subsequently if it's being recorded, because we're also keeping archives of these things. You can also access it, and I'll share with you how you can access it for anybody who missed it, or possibly you also like to refresh your understanding on the things that will be shared there. Okay. Also, if you have questions, there's a Q&A button on this platform. Please use the Q&A button. And for anyone who is viewing via YouTube, there's the chat section. You can always view through that platform. As I mentioned before, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and access resources around entrepreneurship there. I've had some sessions in time past on the EduStart platform in connection with some of my friends who are entrepreneurs. And I believe the number of things that is shared also will be beneficial to you, so you can take full advantage of that. In fact, I'll be having a session also this coming week. I think it's around the announcement, so you can always use that. Okay. Okay, good. It's here. So I'll be having this session also next week, Wednesday, 3rd of June 2020, to Wednesday by 12 p.m. That's the link there on the screen. If you'd like to be a part of it. Odun is my friend, very nice woman, amazing woman. She's the co-founder of DIY Law. So DIY Law is the leading startup legal platform in Nigeria that I know for now. She's also a board member of the EduStart Global Foundation, and she has been really, really helpful. She supports us also at Human Startup Lab to advise on legal matters. So you want to start a company, what are the things you need to know legally? Before you sign that contract, what do you need to know? So you don't just sign. Before you click, I accept terms and conditions, what are the things you need to know? Before you collect investors' money and it's asking you for equity, before the guy cheats you, takes more equity than is investing in, what are the things you need to know legally before you get yourself committed when it comes to business, entrepreneurship, signing a contract and all those things. So that's what the session will be about. You can note the link on the screen, bit.ly/edustart_startup legal matters. And you can, let me see if I can copy that and put in the chat section for, oops. No. Let me just copy it out then. So I'll put in the chat section to make it a lot easier so you don't have to type it all afresh. Okay, so that's it for those who would like to be a part of it. All right, so I'm just going straight to the class for today. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. Just a second, please. Okay. So this is what we'll be looking at today. venture creation. And I'll just go straight to it. And we'll be covering what venture creation is and 3 core things around venture creation. Okay, so from the name venture creation, it's actually means creating a venture. Actually, there's no rocket science about this. And a venture here is another word for saying business or a startup company or an organization, a company, basically, a venture. And what exactly is a venture? It simply refers to an enterprise that is involved in providing a solution. And solution in this case could be in form of a product or a service. Like one of my mentors said, people don't actually buy products, they buy solutions. So if that product has a solution, you pay for it. If you're hungry, you need a solution, food. Okay, so you go buy food and you have a good time with yourself and satisfy yourself. You need someone to get something done for you. Maybe it's in terms of a service. It's not about the service. You're not buying the service for the service in itself, but to have a solution to a problem that you have. So a venture's mission basically is to be able to provide solutions to people. And whatever form that solution may come, could be a product, it could be a service, it could be an app, whatever form it might be. But people basically pay for their solutions. And a good understanding of this will help you to know what you should do when you're starting a venture, or even as a career person also, because like I said, this does not only apply to those of you who want to become entrepreneurs, but also those who would like to start their journey as career professionals. Okay. And of course, being an entrepreneur who started a venture, you are doing that for a reason. There's something you want in exchange. It could be impact and it could be profits. It could be both. But that's what a venture is. Okay, no rocket science around that. So let's just go straight and look at a few things around venture creation. Remember, I said it could be starting a venture or venture creation. It's all the same thing. I don't want us to theorize it, and I don't want you to look at it from the angle of what is venture creation. Just as the name implies, that's what it is, right? Creating a venture, as simple as that. One of the things I love about entrepreneurship is that there is no complexity in it. It's very simple. It's just the heart, the courage, the guts, the will to get things done. That's where the real work is. And I hope a number of us will be able to apply ourselves to doing those things. So starting a venture basically refers to creating and starting an enterprise or activity or a venture for the purpose of maximizing benefits as much as possible and minimizing costs as much as possible, right? And as I mentioned, there is a motivation to this. The motivation could be profits. It could also be impact. And I'm bringing this into the picture because I know a number of you are interested in social entrepreneurship, which is being involved in a venture, not for the purpose of basically making money mainly, but also for the purpose of impact. And for some, it's both. Nothing is wrong whether it is for profit, nothing is wrong whether it's for impact, and nothing is wrong whether it's for both. All right, so far you're solving problems. The real core goal is solving. And a venture or a business or a startup company is a platform through which you can achieve both or any that you like to achieve through that platform. Okay. And also starting a venture is a journey, right? It's a journey. So if you start and it doesn't look really nice, just keep at it. I know a number of you have started ventures. Some of you have done well with it. Some of you have not done well with it, but don't feel bad if you've not done well with it. There are many things you are learning in the process. You are discovering yourself, you are discovering the market. You're trying to figure out how best to improve on your solution. So you don't feel bad. You are a lot better than someone who didn't try. You might fail in the process, but you've learned from it. So there's a terminology in Silicon Valley called failing fast. In fact, you seem to earn more respect in Silicon Valley for even failing because you showed some level of confidence for starting something and failing at doing those things and gathering experiences. In fact, I know a couple of investors who wouldn't invest in you except you have failed at least one startup company, because that experience sort of is helpful in saying to it that you are able to build something that wouldn't fail because you already know how things fail. And so you're able to do things that won't fail. These persons, the founders of PiggyVest, who are all graduates of Covenant University. PiggyVest wasn't their first company. They started Push CV, and Push CV was a blunder. It failed. It started failing from day one. But it's not all failure because they learned a number of things. They learned how to create value. They learned how to connect with customers. They understood what the market was. So the ton of lessons that they learned from Push CV, they picked that and they used to build this platform called PiggyVest. And PiggyVest is an exceptional phenomenon, really exceptional. Apart from the investment they've gotten, they have over 2 million users. And just imagine the amount of savings or AUMs that they have pulled together and the impact they're making. Also giving users the opportunity to invest in areas of their choice as they make such values available. So this is value. And so they're also helping people to build the habits around saving. So all this we can bring together as value. And as I mentioned, the venture is a platform through which we're able to do that and to make lots of things really better. And we all can do that. And there's no rocket science about it. Like I said, it's not about whether you are still in the university. A number of companies, like we all know, started from the university. So I don't think there's any limitation here. And as I mentioned, the mission of Covenant University is to cultivate high-grade entrepreneurs. And that idea is instilled through this platform. That's EDS, your class, this platform here that we're sharing. And more importantly, to give you the chance to do lots of interesting things with your life, which I think is cool. So there are three things here that venture creation stands for. So if we're saying venture creation, we are talking about basically three things. And these are the things you can see on the screen. The first is value creation. The second is opportunity creation. And the third is wealth creation. So everything that venture creation is about creating these three things. So if you're going to create a venture, think of these three things. The first thing is you have to create value. Some of those things will happen. You have to do some of them purposefully. Some of them can happen accidentally. Some of them will just happen like automatically, like that. But you have to create value. And you have to create opportunities and you have to create wealth. So let's just start with value. What exactly is value? Value is anything people want, anything people would be willing to pay for. It could be a product, it could be a service, whatever it might be. So the shoes you're putting on, if you're putting on one, I know you're in the house now, so I don't know if you're putting on one, but the clothes you're putting on, anything you pay for. Before the lockdown, a number of you visited the cinemas. You must value it for you to take your money and go pay for it. So what is it that you value, right? Now, I'm explaining this from the viewpoint of the consumer or the user, right? What is it that you value? Now, flip the coin to the other side. As an entrepreneur, how can you create what people value? The job of the entrepreneur is to create value, not just create something. Because there is this challenge that I've observed a lot, and don't feel bad if you have gone through it, because we all went through it. Even I myself went through it, where you have an idea and you are creating a solution and you are now looking for the problem the solution is going to solve. No, you start first of all by figuring out what the problem is, and you are creating a solution to the problem instead of create a solution and you're not looking for the problem is going to solve. And then the concern is, why are people not using it, or why are people not buying it? Because you created something that you thought people wanted as a solution, whereas you're supposed to understand what the problem is. So it's just like someone going to the doctor and asking the doctor that he needs medical attention, and the doctor just start giving drugs before diagnosing. So step number one in creating value is to diagnose, like the doctor would do for the patient. So ask, okay, what do you feel? How is your temperature? Are you coughing? And begin to take notes, basically diagnosing. And the outcome of the diagnosis will determine the kind of prescription of drugs that the doctor is going to make available. As entrepreneurs, we also do that. What we do is to diagnose. And there are lots of problems. The reason why lots of money right now are coming to Nigeria and to Africa is because of the dimension of problems that are available here. Smart entrepreneurs know that the places where we have the most problems are the places where we have the most opportunities, because it's the same thing actually. From one perspective, it's called problem. From another perspective, it's called opportunity, but it's all the same thing. The issue is the same thing. And where you have the most problems are the places where you have opportunities to actually solve problems, because people who are facing those problems are looking for solutions to the problems. So the question to ask is, if I can create a solution, can I find persons who will be able to value it and also pay for it, right? So as an entrepreneur, what you want to get clear if you're creating a venture is, Because if you don't if you're not creating value and creating a venture, what you have is social media accounts, maybe some followings, a complimentary card, and just a name. What are you offering? You must be offering something. So value is actually exactly what you're offering. Okay. And that's what entrepreneurs do. You must be offering something. So think of all the entrepreneurs that you know, top leading entrepreneurs, and find out they are all creating value in some form. It could be in in form of a product or two products or a service, whatever it might be. They're creating value in some way. So if you're creating a venture, what value exactly are you offering? What value are you offering? So ventures that do well are the ones that do not deal in products that do not sell. Okay, basically what they do is they deal in products that sell, and the reason why the products sell is because they are creating value. If it's not selling, it's possible that the market has not seen value in it. If they see value in it, then it should sell. Okay, or maybe they see value in it and maybe consideration was not made in terms of what their pocket capacity is, in terms of their ability to buy. I mean affordability now. Because you can do something really exceptional, but if the market can't afford it, it's still not value to them because they can't pay for it. So you have to look at two things here. They're willing to get it and they're able to get it. So willingness to get it means that, oh, they appreciate this. Now, the ability to get it means that, oh, yes, now they can afford it. So it ends up as value. So they value it. Valuing it means that they're willing to pay for it. So as true entrepreneurs, you don't deal in products that do not sell, you deal in products that sell. Meaning that they use it and they can pay for it. Okay. Now, question, what makes a product really sell? I'm going to flip the question so we can really understand this here. Now, to understand what makes a product sell, let's look at it from the viewpoint of a buyer. Okay. So why do you buy the things that you buy? Just like from the seller's viewpoint or the entrepreneur's viewpoint, why does it sell? From the buyer's viewpoint or the user's viewpoint, why do you buy? Why do you use Facebook? Why are you on Instagram? Why are you literally living and breathing on Twitter? What are you doing online? In fact, a number of you seem to really be excited about this whole lockdown thing, not because you like coronavirus, but because you're enjoying the fact that you are literally in your zone. Most of you live online even before the whole lockdown. Okay. Why is it that you buy the things you buy, you use the things that you use? Okay. So what makes you part away with your money and your resources to buy that product? Okay. This is a way we can also try to ask ourselves and understand this question of what makes a product sell. So what makes a product sell is also asking, why do we buy that product? So ask yourself, why do you buy that product? And bring that same energy and teleport it to whatever you're creating in terms of value and ask yourself, what will make this product sell? And for us to find answers to this, there's something we call GOOTB. It's an acronym for get out of the building. So you don't stay behind your laptop and you're trying to assume what users want. You get out of the building and ask real people questions. You ask them exactly what their problems are. You clarify it. And of course, people have lots of problems. So you have to be specific on your questions, not make it general. Okay. So say you want to develop maybe a kind of meal or something, a product that's maybe a snack or something. You want to ask people, maybe around their time, do you have time to cook? Okay. Would you prefer something delivered to you? Okay. Will you be willing to pay for any delivery service? All right. How much will you need to pay for such service? Asking like real questions from people. Pick the insights from that. Use tools like the Lean Canvas or business model canvas to express your ideas plainly so you can view all the angles of the idea. And coupled with the feedback you've gotten from potential users of whatever you are creating. And with that, you're able to do something that will sell. Okay. And it's all a learning process. It's all a learning process because no product, no business, no value, no business. So if you're creating a venture, what exactly is the value that the business or the venture is creating? Everything that the venture stands for has to be centered around a particular value that it's offering. Okay. And like I mentioned, that value could be in the form of a product or a service. Okay. But it must be solving a problem. All right. So you want to meet a need, you want a problem solved, or you want a pain relieved, or you want to show off. These are the 4 things you want to look out for in this question on why you buy what you buy. So think about it. Why do you buy the things you buy? And why do you spend your money to buy certain things? This answers that. Possibly you are doing that because you actually want to meet a need. There's a need you want to meet, whether of yours or somebody else. Okay, you want to solve a problem. You don't just call a mechanic because you feel like calling a mechanic and just paying for Christmas. You want the guy to do something. You don't just go to a doctor to say, man, I just want to go and spend some weekend in the hospital this weekend because people are visiting me and just disturbing me unnecessarily. Right? You part your resources with certain things, or you buy certain products because you want to have a problem solved. You want to have a pain relieved. Or maybe you want to get a nice car, a nice wristwatch, nice clothes or something because you want to show off. But there's a reason actually why you buy the things that you buy. Let me just buttress some things a little bit here, just to help you understand things you need to consider when you are creating value. And in simple English, product or service. 2 things here. And I'll use medical terms to explain this. Well, not medical terms, general terms, but maybe related to health-wise. And that's what you're creating. Are they vitamins or are they pain relievers? So vitamins are products that you just take them as supplements. You don't take them because you're feeling any pain. You just take them as supplements. Nothing is sugaring you to take them. You just buy them or just take them. Okay? So those are vitamins. Pain relievers are, you are feeling some form of pain and you need that pain relieved badly, seriously. And so you go get pain relievers. Now back to my question. The product you are creating, the value you are offering, are they vitamins or are they pain relievers? If they are pain relievers, there's tendency that it will be purchased a lot more compared to vitamins. Okay, this is not to say you shouldn't focus on creating products that are vitamin-like. Okay, this is just to say that work on having people's pains relieved. That is, create products that relieve people's pains and concerns. And I'm using this figuratively now. And also at the same time, if you are going to create vitamins, you have to help, and this is where marketing comes in. You have to help people see why they should buy your vitamins. Remember, I said I'm speaking figuratively now because I'm categorizing all products into 2 forms: vitamins and pain relievers. And its value, basically. So if you're creating pain relievers, there's tendency that it will move a lot more. If you're creating vitamins, it will move, but you need to add some stronger touch of marketing to it. You have to help people see why they need to take the vitamins, how it's going to add value to their lives, to their work, to their family, why they need it, why it's good. So the job of marketing is for that. Okay. So when you're thinking of creating value, a product or a service, always think about that. Are you creating a vitamin or you're creating a pain reliever? So what then is value? Value is anything people, and when I say people, now I'm talking about the market. Now the market is where the money is. Your money is in the pockets of people. When you give them the value that they want, then they bring out the money, right? The market is where the money is. So if you're creating a product and it does not hit the market, I can tell you're not making money from it yet. It's when your product gets to the market, if the people on the market like it, then they give you money. If your money is still in their pockets, your product is not in the market. Your product needs to get to the market, not in your head. So as long as it's still in your head, it's not making you money. As long as it's still on paper, it's not making you money. As long as it's still an experiment, abstractly, no. You have to get it out from your head. And that's why you hear us say terms like take this idea from concept to product to market. If it doesn't get to market, you don't get the money. Money is in the market. So value is anything people are willing and able to pay for because it meets their needs, it solves their problems, it relieves their pain, or it enhances their feelings and sense of worth. And this talks about luxury. Okay. Please note my words here. I use the word willing and able to pay. So they shouldn't only be willing to pay, they should be able to pay for it. And if they're not the ones paying for it, somebody else should be paying for it. So let me use the opportunity to explain two factors here. So we have the term users and customers. So users sometimes may be the customers, and in some cases, the users may not be the customers. So say, for instance, you buy a laptop for yourself, right? You are the one using the laptop and you're the one who paid for the laptop. So that makes you both the user and the customer. The customer is the one who pays for the product. The person who pays for it is the customer. The person who uses it is the user. Now, let's look at another example. If, okay, some of you are in school right now. Obviously, well, maybe some of you, let me not just conclude so quickly. You're in school right now, and for a number of you, most of you paid your school. Most of your parents mostly paid your school fees. For most of you, your parents paid your school fees. But your parents are not the one in school. So those who pay your school fees are the customers of the school, the users of the education service. You are the users. So in this particular example, the user is you, student. The customer is the person who is paying for it. That's your parents or your guardians. If you can understand this terminology, it will help you in figuring out how to create the best of value and how to get money from the value that you create. For instance, if you look at companies like Cadbury and how they position products like Bonvita. So a typical child within the age range of age 6 and 12 who watches TV a lot and sees adverts appreciates Bonvita a lot more than Milo. I mean, I don't like Bonvita so much. I mean, I take Bonvita, but I don't take it as much as I take Milo. I don't take it as much as I take Ovaltine. But where the kids get that from adverts. So they see kids, they use kids for the adverts around Bonvita. And so as a result of that, there's this psychology around it. And so what Cadbury has done effectively is to position their adverts to target the users, that's the kids. And so the kids are able to put pressure on their parents, that is the customers, to pay for the product. And so the way Bonvita is able to sell really well is by targeting the adverts towards the user, and the user is able to put pressure on the customer, that is their parents, to make available the products to them, in this case, Bonvita. So in whatever value you are creating, always think in the context of who are the users and who are the customers. Thinking of the users is one thing, but you should also think who has the money and who is going to pay for it. All right. This will help you position effectively. And as we advance in this class, I'll be able to share more deeply on that. So you have to create value and provide it, or else no money or reward will come to you. Customers pay for value, not hype. I mean, there's this whole thing around hype, it's another form of marketing. It's not about hype. The product has to step up to its game and speak for itself. So, and don't try to hype a product that's not good enough, because that could be dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that, so there's this term that I learned in 2008, which I've tried to also apply in the things that I do around business and entrepreneurship and venture creation. And I learned it from one of my consulting tasks that I did for an organization. It says good advertising makes a bad product worse. So you take a bad product and you try to position it as an excellent product. And people use it and find out that the product is not really as excellent as it was positioned to be. And so the second chance, you'll have to push that product even after you've improved it, as you already created an established perception in the hearts and minds of the users or the customers. And so even after you have done something to make the product better, they're making a negative decision against your own product because your hype didn't match the product. Okay. So you want to make sure that the product can speak for itself and it's really valued for the user, and the user is having value for the money that the customer has paid. So who are you creating value for? Now, oftentimes we think that we're creating value only for users, and I've tried to explain two categories already for you, that is the user and the customer. Just to help you understand that you are creating value not only for the user, but also for the customer. I gave an example of a child going to school. Like a number of you are in school right now. You are the user of the education service. your parents are the customers, or your guardians are the customers. So what the school is supposed to do is to create value for you as the customer, as the user, and to your parents as the customers. Okay. But in starting a venture, there are many persons involved, which you can see on your screen. The users, the customers, the investor, the suppliers, the employees. If you don't respect these categories, you'll most likely not build an excellent venture. One, the user is the one who helps you see that what you have created is truly value. So the customer is the one who gives you money for the value you've created. He has your money. Three, the investor is the one who trusts you and puts his money on the line, expecting that you're a worthwhile person to invest in, and that you can take his $10,000 for 10% equity and take it to maybe $100,000 in about 2, 3, 5 years. All right. So his 10% that he put as $10,000, because you have built a valuable organization and the organization has grown to multiple hundreds of millions of dollars, the value of his $10,000 has grown to $100,000. That is that's the value for the investor. The value the investor expects in return is that his pie, his 10% pie of your big pie has grown bigger, because I expected to continually build and grow the pie so that his small pie of $10,000 can continually grow bigger and bigger and bigger. That's what the investor gets in exchange, because he's investing in exchange for equity. Okay. The user is expecting satisfaction from it. The customer wants to have value for his money, right? Also, you will need suppliers, because particularly if you are the one involved in some form of tangible production. And some suppliers, if they see that you are credible, they can even give you a line of credit. That is, they give you the raw materials free, allow you to produce, and when you sell, then you pay them. If you have trust as part of your values, then you most likely be able to earn a lot of trust from such suppliers, because they expect in return respect for the honor that they are giving you in making available resources available. Also, your employees, like I've mentioned before, one is too small a number to achieve anything meaningful. One is too small a number. You need people to work with you. And even though you are the founder or the starter of the company, your employees should be given some form of respect, because they are the frontliners. They are the ones in touch with the users and the customers. If they don't position your organization well, your organization will obviously not be able to perform well as it ought to. Every organization is as successful or as valuable as the people who are driving it. And so the value your employees will want should be that they should be compensated well, they should be rewarded well, they should be respected well. And if you can also give them some form of stock options also in your organization. So don't just think the user or the customers are the persons you should create value for. Value should be created for all the persons that are involved in your organization if you're going to build a remarkable organization. And one example I often like to share is the case of Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg owns 24% of Facebook, 24%, 24% of the company he founded. The other portion is owned by other forms of investors like Peter Thiel and the rest of them who invested in the company when all Mark Zuckerberg had was a prototype. Need. And it's better to have 24% of $1 billion company than to have 100% of $100,000 worth of company. So you can do the maths. All right, so how do we create value? To create value, step number one, be observant. Observant in the sense that seek to find out what the pains of people are, because it's value you're creating here, not just an idea. So don't just pick the concept of, oh, I have an idea and I think it's going to work, and you start investing resources in it. You might have wasted lots of resources and found out that what you have done is not going to fly. And some of you have done that. A number of you have come to meet me on that. So I know a number of you have done that. Okay. So step number one is you want to be observant. You want to put your ears to the ground to find out what the pains of people are. Look at all successful companies that we've had. They've done the same thing. They've taken time out to understand what users really want, what customers really want. So what are you observing? One, the pains. What's paining people? What's paining people? What's it that people don't want? that is an insight or a pointer to the fact that they might most likely want to pay to have such pains relieved. Another thing you want to find out is what is the degree of pain, because there are certain pains that users might just waver and just want to live with. Okay, and so they may not want to, like some persons don't mind trekking, like trekking from point A to point B. You know, some persons don't have time for that. They're willing to pay for Uber to get themselves moving because they respect time. Okay, so you want to ask the question, what is the degree of pain? That is, the degree of pain will let you know whether they can do without it or not. That will help you also know how valuable your value is and how much price the users most likely be willing to pay. So this particular one talks about desperation. How desperately or badly do they want the value you've created or product? I mean, the more desperate they are, the more you can price it. Okay. How do entrepreneurs measure desperation? If you think of how the cinema is also priced as well, like maybe this will also give you like an insight. I remember when the Avengers Endgame game came out. I think that was last year. The way this, first of all, the ticket price in the cinemas was way more than the normal pricing, and they had series of rounds. I mean, this movie was like almost 3 hours movie, and persons were just flocking in to go see this movie. Okay, so how desperate are the users to have it? The more desperate the users are, or the customers, the more you can price and raise the bar higher on it. Okay, and of course, if you can figure out what the pain is, what the degree of pain is, then you can now zoom in further to find out. So, what's the problem responsible for the pain? What makes you an entrepreneur is your ability to understand what the problem is responsible for the pain, and also be able to create the solution to the problem. If you stop at just figuring out what the problem is, that doesn't make you an entrepreneur. That just makes you maybe an analyst or a commentator, right? So many people can talk, but we just have few doers. Entrepreneurs are more of doers. They're action oriented. They're result driven. They get things done. Okay. Average minds sit down and just complain about things. What makes an entrepreneur is your ability to take whatever you've identified as a problem, particularly the ones that resonates with you and you would like to address, and you do something remarkable with it. So other things are generated in the process of creating value. Remember, by going to, I said creating a venture is basically creating three things. Let me just see how we're doing on time. Okay. Other things to be generated in the process after creating value, two things. You know, I said we are creating value, we are creating opportunities, and creating wealth. So let's look at the other two things. And I want to be fast here because time is really moving fast. So the other thing here is opportunities. Now, if you're really creating value and people are actually buying your product or your service, lots of pressure will be on you. Lots of pressure will be on you from users and from customers. That is, you will be having to make supplies and sell things to people that you get to a point and say, I'm not enough to get this thing done. I need people. So from your own viewpoint, you need people. From their own viewpoint, you are creating opportunities. In this case, job opportunities. So the sign that you're actually building something remarkable, one of the litmus is you'll be creating opportunities. And the first, most likely that will happen is that you're going to create job opportunities for people. That is, you have to have people to help with the accounts, with the administration, with public relations, depending on the structure you have created for your organization, to give it the proper stability it needs. Another thing that you most likely have to do is to create opportunities, business opportunities for people, because there are certain things that because you've grown big, if you're really growing, you will not want to focus on. You will rather want to outsource to another organization or give as a contract to somebody else to handle, so that you can focus on what you consider the core of your organization. So, which means you have created business opportunities for others. And the third thing that you're going to create, and in this case, it simply means that because you've created something remarkable, you have built some form of market, a community of people, which others will be willing to pay you to take advantage of. So Facebook, for instance, makes a lot of money from people who want to tap into its community. And so some persons will pay Facebook a certain amount of dollars to advertise to certain groups of persons. So that is Facebook has built something and has had some form of community or a market that others are willing to pay them for to take full advantage of. So these are things that occur as you build and create a venture. Now, the third aspect is wealth creation. I'll just try to rush through with this. And wealth creation comes in various forms. Okay, so when you generate income, because income is like a stream. Like, it's just make sure that you are selling every day. It's like a stream. It's like a stream. Okay, and increase the volume of the stream. Increase the frequency of the income. As you do that, take considerable portions and save them. As you do that, take whatever you've saved in terms of reserve and invest in them. That's wealth creation. So real ventures that last long take time out not to eat their tomorrows today. Rather, they pay some price in the present in order to create the future. And of course, creating the future requires investing. And to invest, you need some form of reserve. To have reserves, you have to save. To save, you must be making money. And to make money, you have to create value. So that's the flow with which it goes. Now, but to create wealth sustainably, you need to scale wealth. And I'm going to use a mathematical analogy to explain that. And it's that to create wealth effectively, it's about people, not things. People. Have more respect for people than things. Have more respect for people than things. It is with people that you can scale wealth more effectively. In fact, the more selfish you are, the more you most likely not create wealth more successfully. But the more selfless you are, the more you're able to do that. And this also explains or clarifies what exactly is wealth to you. Each one can define what wealth is to him or to her. All right. So let's look at this maths, like you can see on the screen. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 raised to the power 4 is 81. I'd rather be at the position of 3 raised to the power 4, which is more exponential. And it's about people. It's people that help you leverage fast. So this is just to express valuing people over things. And this is how it works. It is people that we scale. So scaling here is at the exponential dimension, okay? And it's people, as we appreciate them and recognize them, the more we're able to achieve that. Because people have everything you need to build the organization. People have the ideas. It was employee number 3 that helped, I think it's employee number 3 or number 5, that helped Google start making money. Google wasn't making money for 5 years, losing investors' money, right? So it was employee number 3 or 5 or so that brought an idea that helped Google start making money. And that idea was on search advertising. She brought a woman. She brought the idea of search advertising that never existed before, but she came up with the idea of search advertising. And that's what Google still makes money mostly from till today, like for over a decade now. Google has been making money from search advertising, which came from a woman, the employee number 3 or 5 or so. I need to find out which particular one of their earlier employees. Okay, people have the ideas, right? People have the experience. You don't have all the experiences. You may be good with graphics or web app development. You may not be good with accounting or administration, right? There's no point wasting time going to learn that. Leverage with people and give them something in exchange for it, okay? People have the capacity. People have the time. You are one person, you have just 24 hours in a day. You get one more person, you have increased the time that the company needs from 24 hours to 48 hours. You get 5 persons, you've increased the time of the company to 24 hours times 5. It is with people that we scale wealth and we scale advancement. People have the money, right? There are companies that I know that the entrepreneur was able to get investment in the organization, not through him, but through the employees or through the partners. People have the time, they have the money, they have the contacts, the relationships. Mark Zuckerberg was able to get the first investment, I think, from Peter Thiel, $500,000 through a contact. That was Peter Parker, Sean Parker, sorry. Okay, people have access to the markets, right? People have access and contact. So it's all in people. So leverage on people to scale wealth. So focus on creating these 3 things. That is value, opportunities, and wealth. If you can do these 3, then you've created value. I think I'm done with the class. Yes, thank you. If you have questions now, I think we can attend to the questions. I hope I didn't lose anybody. So if you have any question, please use the Q&A button to express what your questions are. I just mentioned that. Yes, someone is telling me, Marissa. Yes, thank you. That's it. You're right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm seeing this in the chat section. But please do me a favor. All this your matric number stuff. I mentioned it. You don't start sharing that. You don't start sharing that here. Okay. The core objective of the class is to make high-growth entrepreneurs or people who are entrepreneurially minded, for those who want to become professionals or career people, not just about the attendance. You can always refer back to the video because we'll make sure we're even recording this anyway, so we'll make sure you have access to it for those who need to have access to it. Okay, so if you have any question now, please use the Q&A button so we can proceed from there. If not, we can always close from here. Okay, someone is asking here about the, let me see. Okay. Okay, someone is saying, I really want to be like Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, you can be whatever you want to become. You can become whatever you want to become. God has given us capacity to even be that and more. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg also said the same thing, that I would like to be like Bill Gates, since Bill Gates also went through to Harvard. But now, Bill Gates even now respects Mark Zuckerberg also. So you can even become the best that you can be. I believe inside us is so much that you can really offer. So be courageous enough to really get the best out of you, to add so much value to the world, and define what you call success, and don't allow anyone overshadow that. Become the best you can. Okay, so I see 4 questions here. How can you go out and get work done, like you said? Okay, which part of that? Go out and get work done, like you said. Okay, I don't know in which context now. Is it as a student in school, no exit to go out, or lockdown or something? What value are you offering, and how can you make it available to people, whether offline or online? So, and recently I've started getting interested in building the future. And let me explain what I mean by building the future. Before now, I've always encouraged, yes, it's not that I've not encouraged building the future, but before now I've always encouraged build something for the present. But recently I just started thinking about paying a lot more attention in building the future. And maybe because of the book I'm reading now, and also this whole lockdown thing. And I would like you guys to also get the book I'm reading now. One of the books I'm reading now is called Exponential Organization. If you're interested, I can share that with you. I have the EPUB version of it. I'm reading it on my device. It's so if you think of Zoom, the platform we're using now, has become more valuable than it was before COVID-19 lockdown. More valuable. Before COVID-19, it was having about, I think, maybe 2 million users or so, and it has gone now to having up to about 300 million users or so. I know that the skill gap is wide. I have some statistics around that. You can also Google it up. And they've made lots of money, have acquired more users. And I'm just thinking, when others are laying off people, because I know organizations that have kind of like laid off people. In fact, from week 1 of the lockdown, others are laying off people. A company like this is making more money and having more users. As at the time it was started, it didn't look like anything. But now it's adding up that companies like that make more money even when there are issues and problems. Amazon, as at 3 weeks ago, when I looked at the stats, they were making $11,000 per second. So just calculate the amount they've made throughout this time that I've been having this class. Why? Because people, even though America is trying to remove the ban on the lockdown and allow some movement to some extent, are still not going to the Walmarts, the Targets, as frequently as they could for safety reasons. And so they're just using Amazon. And Amazon is just making money. The value of Amazon has scaled extremely much, extremely much. Airlines are not making as much money. Hotels, in fact, Marriott, one of the top leading hotel chains in the world, from week 1 have laid off people and reduced the salaries of their people to 12% of what they were earning before. And this was even from the Kwon. I don't know what they've done now to their people. So it just explains that a crisis is actually a terrible thing to waste. If you focus on building the future, there's high tendency that you'll do well in the midst of crisis. It may not make sense at the beginning. For instance, Amazon wasn't making money. Jeff Bezos just kept using every possible wealth of investor to build the future. In fact, there's one that has not really cracked making money now, which is the going to space project. I think he called his own Blue Ocean, something similar to Elon Musk's SpaceX. Okay, so I'm actually more interested in building the future now. And of course, building the future does not mean we should just go to all those high tech. We know what building the future is for us in our context, which can also resonate with what happens in other contexts. Okay, like to really know if the problem you're facing or trying to solve, that other people are also experiencing it. I'm trying to get this question clearly. Okay, I think the person asking the question is saying he would like to really know if the problem you are facing or trying to solve, that others are also experiencing it. Yeah, so it's when you get out of the building. I said it's a term called GOTB, get out of the building. Don't stay behind your laptop trying to figure out people's problems. That could work, if you can research, explore online, but it may not work, more effectively. Who are the persons that will most likely pay for this? Get out of the building, go ask real people questions to find out what their problems are and if they're willing to pay for it, for whatever you are creating. This is, good morning, sir. Thank you, sir, for the meeting. Please, sir, what do I do if my users or customers can't pay for the value I want to offer, and I know they need and want it? Well, if they can't pay for it, it's still not value yet. For instance, there are vehicles that run on water right now, but they are still expensive because maybe just about 5 persons in the world can pay for it. So research and development is still going on to keep refining, to see how they can simplify, maybe from the parts, the materials, to ensure that it's affordable. It's just like laptops. I remember while I was in 100 level, I graduated from Covenant University. While I was in 100 level, anybody who had a desktop was a god to be worshipped. I mean, then all those games. There's this game we used to play then. Something, is it Championship Manager or something like that? I mean, we used to crowd around the room so people will have them. Just imagine, desktop. Now you now have a laptop. During my undergraduate days, man, you're a super god, because then laptops were like, it's now that we have iron laptops, people are getting laptops for 100K, Alienwares, and the rest of them. So then it's like the cheapest laptop then was like 300K, 400K. Getting a desktop that really works and makes sense, not the one that's is very dull, but something really smart, was kind of like expensive. And so it's about value, basically. Ensure it's something that they can afford. Find other options. Keep exploring. It could be in whatever form. One example that comes to my mind is this. GPS, I don't know if I can use the example because there's not a lot of people that are from the engineering. So before now, certain organizations invested billions of dollars in installing GPS devices. Very expensive infrastructure. It's just like installing telco masts everywhere. Now, unfortunately for the company in question, I'm not mentioning of the company, but of course, you can find out on your own. Unfortunately for the company who had invested so much amount of money in billions of dollars, got investors' money, invested billions of dollars installing GPS. Then Apple now came up with the iPhone in 2010. Oh no, 2007 or so. And installed and has, as part of the feature, GPS. Another small company didn't have to install GPS features. All it had to do to capture data was to work with Apple in engaging the GPS features on the users of iPhones and to use that for its own operations. Whereas someone had to start installing $1 billion worth of GPS devices in all places. So now we don't even need to do that anymore. So what can you leverage on? We're in the age of sharing. The founders of Uber were thinking of how to do something remarkable around taxi and making money from it. And so it will be a lot expensive to start buying as much cars as much possible. All they did was create a platform to use the existing vehicles of people to make money. Yeah, and also share such prosperity with the owners of the vehicles. Airbnb is the largest hotel in the world that has no single building, just the buildings of people. So how can you be extremely innovative about what value you've created and make the most of it? I remember during my undergraduate days, some persons were making money from sharing tie, because people wanted to look different every day. So someone just came together, put all ties together, and you pay to rent tie, like rent ties, different ties. Okay, so how can you be creative or innovative about the value you are creating? All right. If you are a startup entrepreneur and you are facing financial difficulties, how do you leverage on people when they would need compensation? Okay, so you're facing financial challenges. How do you leverage on people? Question is, what are you going to give to them? You should be able to give them something. It may not be money. It's not everything that people. It's not money that people need most of the time. I mean, I've worked with people that many of them, some of them who work with me say that it's not money they want. So what exactly do they want? It's not the money you can give. You can also give equity. Even Apple, as at the beginning, they gave equity in exchange. Share the company with them. Share the company with them. Let them have a sense of ownership. It will even breed more commitment that they want to work harder because they know that they have some form of equity in the company. So they work harder to increase the bigger pie, the value of the company, so that their own portion of the pie also grows big. So you can share the company, give them a piece of the pie. Let them have a piece of the pie also, right? Find something you can give to them. There's always something. Have meetings with them, right? There's a company that was going to close down because they were not doing very well. And they called all the staff members together. The owner of the company called all the staff members together and said the company actually is not making money and they will have to cut. But if they don't make some amount of money by week 3, by month 3, they will have to cut the salaries of their people. And he now gave a course and said, however, we are open to ideas. If you can come with an idea that will help us make some amount of money in this period, then we wouldn't have to do that. Man, see people starting getting creative. People were creating, generating ideas. And the company started giving a percentage or portion to those who came up with such ideas to reward them and to encourage them to continually generate such ideas. So you can build a system around such. In building a venture, don't be rigid. Be as flexible as possible. You can't theorize it. Just be flexible with it and be open to learn. It's all about learning. Seek also counsel of mentors who have gone through the valley and the mountains and learn from their failures so you don't have to repeat their failures. I believe a number of them must have gone through certain issues that you don't have to go through and you can always learn from. Please, how do I verify that my idea is creating value? And please, how do I advertise effectively? Get out of the building. That's how to validate your idea. Get out of the building. Ask real people. I recommend you read this book, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. You can also read this one called, I think it's Running Lean. That's the name. So those are two books that I think will answer a question effectively. And it's not a theoretical book, neither is an academic book. These books are authored by entrepreneurs who, in fact, I learned the Lean Startup methodology and I'm using that to start ventures, which works effectively. So that helps me to save money. I wasn't doing that before, so I was wasting money before even starting. Okay, so through that book, I learned how to be effective in using resources to create value and to create ventures. So I'm more strategic about using resources when starting a venture. What is this? Currently, I'm facing a problem. I'm asked, how can I statistically know for sure other people are facing the same problems? Get out of the building, ask questions. And now when I make get out of the building, because someone will say, oh, there's lockdown. Find out, create a simple Google Doc form. In fact, ask your colleagues, ask your colleagues, go to Instagram, post something, ask questions. Twitter has the feature of polls. Ask questions. You don't have followers, get one of you, Twitter got that's Daniel Amo. He has massive followers on Twitter. You can engage his service and use his platform to harvest some feedback and use that to do something. How to combat laziness and okay, someone is asking how do you combat laziness and procrastination? Okay, Well, I don't know if there's any, I can't say maybe there's a secret sauce to that. What I can say is this: do you have anything that is compelling enough to get you up from the bed every morning? What's your dream? What's your drive? What's your vision for life? What's that thing that you feel you owe the world to offer? Um, and how is that compelling enough to get you moving? Somebody who is lazy wasn't designed to be lazy or to procrastinate. It may just mean that you have not found that thing that gives you the fire to get yourself moving, and you need to find it. I shared with 100 level students, 200 level students on Monday or Tuesday, I think Monday, yes, on Monday about the smart PC. It's basically on entrepreneurship and self-discovery. If you can find out who you are and figure out what your core is and how much you have to give to the world, when you begin to, count what you're able to do, I think that's compelling enough. But if you don't know who you are, you most likely not value yourself well enough. And if you don't value yourself, you'll most likely keep procrastinating, and you'll most likely slouch and be lazy. But somebody who has something really valuable to do, who knows it, because all of us may have something. You really do something interesting in your life. Sir, please, can you send the book? Thank you. Okay, which book? Oh, you mean the slides, I guess. Maybe. Okay, yeah, sure. Send it. On a very unrelated note, I would like to know who created the infographics and graphics of representation. Oh, okay, good question. One of you actually did. One of you actually did. I can mention his name. Should I mention his name? Should I mention his name? Should I? If you want me to mention his name, just click the raise hand button. Let me see. Should I? Oh, okay. I'll mention his name. It's Jerry Ojuma. Jerry Ojuma. So Jerry Ojuma. Jerry, if you can hear me, I'm promoting you right now. Jerry Ojuma actually designed this. And let me just even share this. Let me share this with you. And I think this will help. Jerry Ojuma is one of the Hebron Startup Lab community members. And maybe some of you here, of course, some of you here will be members of the Hebron Startup Lab community members. Jerry has been in school since the lockdown. A number of them, Danje has been in school. A couple of you, Ibubi has been in school. A number of you have been in school since that time, and these guys have been creating massive things. By the way, the just checking on you video, and I'm just sharing this with you, just to let you know what you guys are capable of, because it won't be good for you to keep devaluing yourself and just think that you're students and you can't do much. Just to let you know that you guys have the capacity to do great stuff. That just checking on you video, those who did the editing, the designs, are the students, you guys. From Jerry to Danje, and the other team members that helped supporting carry members. This is not to say that there were no non-students who worked with them, but you guys were involved in it. And I'm sharing this so that you can also see that there's a lot of value that you can do. And a number of alumni persons have also asked me questions on how they can have access to Covenant University students who can create stuff. And I know that there was a time that you guys filled a particular form of that, because I was the one who told them, sent a link through the Students Affairs on your Telegram group for you guys to fill that, because I wanted to see how I could bridge the gap between the students and the alumni. Because at this stage of your life, you start building massive networks and connecting with people, and also know that you have things to offer to the world. Initially, of course, you might be doing it free, which is okay, because that's like your marketing. You're promoting yourself a lot. People need to know what you can do. They need to know what you can do and make recommendations for you. I mean, there are persons that have done lots of free things for that they didn't give the money directly, but those they connected me with wealth. But just start giving as much value as you can. You may not start a company, but you can start offering something. You may not start a company, but you can design a poster. You may not start a company, but you can create a video. You can create a content. You can write a poem or solve a problem. But there's something you have, even if it's artistic drawings or something. Well, these questions are getting much. Let me just pick a few so we can end the class. It's already past 12. Okay, so this pandemic has affected my food business. Whoa, the cost of my delivery is almost the same price of my meals. and most of my customers are not willing to order like before. What advice do you give? What advice can you please give? Well, I don't know details of that business, but maybe I want to ask your customers, most of them, where are they coming from and where are you staying? So this will let us know the extent of delivery. Is this something that is close by? Because if you are talking of a further distance, you most likely incur more cost on delivery. And like you're saying here, the cost of a delivery is even almost the same price as the meal. So it's like them paying twice for it. Like why would they go pay for twice the price of the meal when they can just go close by? So maybe you want to look closer to where you are. I want to believe the production is also taking place. You just focus on customers closer to where you are. And for those who are far from where you are, figure out what kind of value you can give to them, even though you're not close to them. It could be value around advice on healthy eating. It could be because you have to keep in touch with them. If because of COVID, you're not keeping in touch with them, you will lose them. So, and you are making money from them before. So in order not to lose them to the nearby customers, even though the nearby providers can provide them food, just make sure you're still in touch with them. See how you can even reinforce your position by partnering with a nearby one. Maybe not even asking for anything, but at least to build stronger relationships with your customer and keeping in touch with them and giving them content around maybe food, maybe on how this food, helps to boost this or strong bones, blah, 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 or helps to lose fat or something. Okay. So that after the whole lockdown stuff is completely lifted and everybody's moving freely, then you can continue what you started before. But you have to be creative about it. Maybe I should engage you privately. Try to engage me privately so I can understand more deeply what the problem is and how I can be of help. Good morning, sir. Suppose you have identified a need and you have an idea for creating value. What skills are absolutely essential and what can be acquired at a later time in order to make the venture thrive? Oh, okay. There are multiple skills that you will need to get whatever value. I don't know what value you're referring to now, what kind of product or service, but there are multiple skills you need. But take notes so that I don't get scared. You don't have to be the one having all the skills. You don't have to be the one having all the skills. Get people. If you have multiple employees, then get people that can become co-founders who will start with you and they also have equity in exchange. And let them have a sense of ownership. If they have a sense of ownership, then they'll be driving it even when you are tired to ensure that it's successful because there's a sense of ownership there. Okay, so identify the need, create interesting value around it. Let me be sure I got the question right. Okay. And then the core skills you need to have. For instance, you should be able to understand the user's viewpoint. You should be able to engage social or digital marketing to get your word out. The number of believers on social media, so that shouldn't be an issue for you. You should at least have some dimension of how to strategize, right? Business strategy. You should be able to learn how to sell, market what you have. Okay. You should also have life skills. What I was saying earlier on about the question, the person who was talking about the food business, everything I was talking about was basically around life skills, the ability to connect with people, to be emotionally intelligent, and to be able to communicate effectively with people there. So those are life skills. Communicating effectively with people and having respect for humanity, kind of. When people see that you actually care for them, and you're creating the product because you care for them, actually, not just because you want to make money. Multiple skills. But if I will categorize them, I'll just categorize them into three. Technical skills, whether it is coding, programming, accounting, economics, blah, blah. The second, life skills, things you will need that connects with people, that makes people say, I want to stick with this guy. And the third, entrepreneur skills. And those are the ones that cover things around curiosity, guts, the boldness and the courage to take action, the willingness to move even in the face of failure. And even when you fail, you still get up and you try again. And the ability to manage investors' money and investors' resources, the ability to take the organization from point A to point B, the ability to acquire users and customers and be able to connect well with people and expand and grow whatever you have. Okay, so I'll just categorize them into those three: technical skills, life skills, and entrepreneur skills. All right, thank you very much. We have to shut down the class right now. We have used 1 hour plus 13 minutes. Thank you very much. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you have something to apply. So just keep in touch, and I trust that everything will go smooth and well. Remember, stay safe, and God continually keep you. One more thing, please, like I mentioned, let me see if I'll ask them to give some announcement now. But take note, like I said at the beginning of the class, take your Moodle entrepreneurship classes seriously, very crucial. Take your Moodle entrepreneurship classes seriously. This that CDS is doing is basically to help you guys connect more deeply, and also to have you guys knowing that entrepreneurship is unique in itself. It's not like your other courses and theoretical courses, right? And that's why we saw that apart from what we're doing on Moodle, we should be able to do this and also connect with you guys, because we want to make sure you guys are having the kind of skills that you need for the future, which also includes entrepreneurial skills. The world is such that many things are changing dramatically, and COVID has come to accelerate that change really fast. And so Covenant University is really, really paying serious and deep attention to ensuring that all our students and those who will be graduating are overset and are having the kind of mindset that will thrive in the real world of work. All right, Dami, do you still have that announcement? Dab, are you there? Unmute your mic.
Okay, I think you've already emphasized on the announcement. Okay, this is to all students. Good afternoon, students. I'd like you to understand that, just like the facilitator just said, that classes on Moodle, should be taken very seriously. That's not to say this class that we're having, which is extracurricular, is not important. This is actually very important. But for your academic, grading and scores, you need to take your classes on Moodle very seriously. So never see this as a substitute for the class on Moodle. Consider both classes very essential, to your entrepreneurial development. So please, I'd like to emphasize that you cascade this information to your colleagues, that both platforms, both on Moodle and this platform that we have here, they are very essential. So please note this. This is very, very important. Thank you.
All right, guys. I hope you learned a lot. Let me just remind you about this. My session with Odun on 3rd of June on Wednesday. Odun is a very good friend. She's the founder of DIY Law. They do some things for Paystack and a number of companies. They're the leading legal platform that supports startups in Nigeria that I'm aware of today. And so I've invited her to share with us on the EduStart platform on the things that one needs to know around startups and legal matters. Before you sign a contract, before you collect investors' money, things you need to know. You should think entrepreneurially and understand what the legal terms are before you go check or just sign. Don't just sign. Many persons have made mistakes losing. If you think of the earlier co-founder of Facebook, the mistake he made and how he lost his own portion of Facebook because he was just signing without having a clear understanding of what he was doing. So what are the things you need to know, particularly those of you who want to become entrepreneurs, and how you should protect yourself legally, why you should not just go share an idea without incorporating an organization and present yourself as an organization, because you get more respect coming as an organization than coming as an individual. They'll see you as a small boy, So what are the things you need to know? So you can enroll. That is a Zoom link, actually. You just use a shortcode for it. It's bit.ly/edustats_startup legal matters. I think I put it on the chat section. I'll just copy it and put it one more time before I shut the down the class. By the way, this is being recorded. You can go to my channel. Like I said, subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and this video will also be there. You can always pick it up from there and always go back. And anyone who missed it can always still go back to pick a number of things from there. So I've put the link on the chat section. You can take a copy it from there and use that. All right, thank you very much. Let's pray now. Father, thank you in the name of Jesus Christ for this class. Thank you for the things we've learned. We give you praise. I ask that this will actually trigger new beginnings and better results for every one of us. And that your name be praised in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.